Hi, welcome to Kick Ass Confidence. Today, I'd like to share with you an experience that I've had this year. Firstly, it was a teenage mentoring program for girls in the inner west of Sydney, so Balmain and Leichhardt. The criteria was that they were introverted and potentially subject to bullying at school. And what we found was it was a really incredible experience. We were doing a lot of activities, creativity. I also presented one week about connecting healthily with your emotions and took them through a body scan, meditation, and gratitude. And overall, what I found was, it was a really good learning experience, not only for the teenage girls, but for us as the mentors. Firstly, I've got a niece and nephews who are pretty cool and happy to do their own thing. And I think I have pulled back in the sense of how I interact with them. But what I learned more so with the mentoring experience is that you can still be a positive role model and give support in very subtle ways. And it could be how you're showing up in your own life, what kind of questions you're asking them, whether you're remembering about certain things and bringing it up the next time you see them. I just found that working with these teenage girls, I could see that excitement when you would ask them about things that they brought up to you, and it would maybe be the next week. And I'm like, oh, she remembered. Or, you know, they would really appreciate the fact that we were there. We were showing up, we were giving them our time, supporting them. And, maybe we weren't the cool ones because we're older and they just want to hang out with their friends. But I sensed their gratitude. And by the end of it, there were some lovely messages about thanking us for the smile we brought, the positivity, the encouragement for, just being there and showing that we cared. And by the end as well, some of the girls who were really shy and looking down all the time were able to get up and read a presentation with a loud voice and looking up around the room, which was incredible to see. And I think unless they had that safe environment of women who would not judge them, who encouraged them and said it's okay to be who you are, they probably never would have gotten to that stage. So it was really incredible for us to be inspired by just how much a short period of time can impact someone's life. And as a life coach, that's one of my favourite things is seeing the transformation that people make on their journey. I think what the girls taught us was to not take ourselves and our lives too seriously as well. I saw the sense of adventure they had with everything, and it was pretty fun and hilarious to watch. And, one of the other things that I think adults show to an extent is how excited they get over free food in the workplace. I've seen that over the years, but they'd be just so happy to get fed and just to be able to sit together and talk about music and fashion and all those things that, teenage girls seem to be interested in. And, I think apart from the whole, not taking ourselves and our lives too seriously, is they taught me that you really can make a difference in subtle ways. It doesn't have to be big, and you've got to meet them where they're at. So as a teenager, it's all about, learning your independence and somewhat rebelling, and if they don't have the right support and the right encouragement and I think guidelines to an extent, you don't want to be too controlling, but to have some guidelines for them. It's potentially a time when they can become really reckless, whether it's through drinking, sexual behaviour, driving recklessly, drugs. I think there definitely need to be some parameters for them to safely navigate that independence. So ultimately, there's also the sexualization of women and how with technology at younger and younger ages, girls are paying attention to that. Even film clips, music clips, really quite suggestive. And I sometimes will say it's like soft porn. But I think the more that as women we can empower ourselves as feminine, goddess, but also warrior, because I think it takes a lot of strength to be a woman. I think there's lots of expectations that we get, whether it's from society, from our partners, from family, whatever it is. And I think there's a bit of a lack of appreciation for all that a woman does. And in saying that, I believe that men want us to show up in our true power, even if they might be intimidated by it at first, or might have to change dynamics. But the more that we can push past all those expectations about decorating the world or being, of service only to other people, the more we can show up in our true form and live in our passion and inspire and create and share our wisdom so we can all collectively benefit from that. I think it's truly something that we should be continually working on in our lives, not just for ourselves and the people in our close proximity, but for the younger generation that we think may not be paying attention, but I think they're paying a lot more attention than we give them credit for. So feel free to share any ideas, suggestions, ways to connect, or your own challenges or inspirations that you've had, whether you're a teenager or an adult woman. And, men involved as well. Always love to hear from the men and from teenage boys too, because we know collectively there's a lot of pressure that goes towards men as well in terms of not sharing and not speaking up about feelings, which equally had some huge repercussions. So thanks so much for your time. I hope you have a great week of authentic kick-ass confidence. Take care.